You're awake again. The room is dark, or almost dark, and those numbers on the clock look too bright for this hour. It might say 2:57, or 3:11, or something close enough that your body knows. This is that time, that strange slice of night when everything is quiet, and somehow your mind is not. Maybe your eyes snapped open all at once. Maybe you drifted up slowly, realizing you were no longer really asleep. Your body might feel heavy, but your thoughts are sharp, alert, already moving. There's that familiar mix of, not this again, and well, here we are. It's late, it's early, and it feels like you're the only one awake. You might be lying there thinking about something specific, a conversation that went wrong, a bill, a decision you haven't made yet, or it might just be a vague hum of worry, a sense that you're on duty while the rest of the world is off. Everyone else gets to be unconscious. You're the one keeping watch, even though you never signed up for that job. And still, you came here. You reached for this in the dark, on a glowing screen or a device by your bed, hoping that maybe this time will be a little different, that maybe you won't have to wrestle your thoughts alone until the sky starts to lighten. Just being here is already more than enough. There is nothing you have to get right tonight. This isn't a test of how well you can relax or how quickly you can fall asleep. You don't have to listen perfectly. You don't have to agree with every word. If your mind wanders away and comes back, that's fine. If you drift off halfway through a sentence, that's not a failure. That's the point. Think of this as something that will keep you company while the night does what nights do. You can stay awake and just let the words move past you. You can half listen. You can forget you're listening at all. There is no one way this has to go. However your night unfolds, it still counts. For now, you don't need to change anything. Not your breath, not your thoughts, not the way you're lying. Just notice that you are here, in this bed, in this body, in this moment of the night. That's the whole thing to start with. Feel the surface beneath you, the mattress holding your weight, the way it gives a little under the heavier parts of you. Notice where your body meets the bed, the back of your head, your shoulders, your hips, your legs, your feet. Some places might feel more supported than others. That's okay. Just notice. Your shoulders might still be holding something from earlier, the day, or the week, or the month. You don't have to soften them yet. Just feel where they are, the way they rest into the pillow, or how one shoulder is slightly more forward than the other. The simple fact that gravity is doing its quiet work, even while you're awake at this hour. Pay a little attention to the air on your skin. Maybe there's a bit of coolness on your face, or on your hands if they're outside the covers. Maybe the air feels warmer under the blanket, where your body has been lying. Notice the difference between the air and the fabric, between the fabric and your skin. There's the texture of what you're lying on, the pillow under your head, the sheet against your legs, the blanket over you. Maybe you can feel the edge of the blanket where it rests on your chest, or the slight weight of it across your feet. You don't have to like how it feels. Just let your attention brush over these details, the way you might glance around a room without needing to do anything in it. Somewhere in the background, your breath is already happening. You don't need to take a big breath or a special breath. Just notice that air is coming in and air is going out. Maybe it's through your nose, maybe your mouth. Maybe it's a little uneven. That's all right. You're breathing, and that's enough information for now. As you lie here, you might still feel that alertness buzzing under everything, that on-duty feeling, like you're the one awake in the house, keeping an eye on things. You don't have to argue with it. It's been trying to take care of you for a long time. For the next little while, it can just sit in the corner of your mind and listen, without having to fix anything. The walls around you are doing their quiet job. They're holding their shape. The door is closed, or partly closed, just the way you left it. The floor is where it always is. The furniture hasn't gone anywhere. All the ordinary things in this room are staying exactly as they are, whether you sleep or not. If there are sounds, notice them the way you'd notice distant weather. Maybe there's a faint hum from something electrical, a car passing far away, pipes in the building, a clock ticking. These sounds can come and go without needing your attention. They're just part of the night doing what nights do. Here, in the middle of all of that, is your body, your head resting on the pillow, your jaw, maybe a little tight, maybe not, your tongue resting in your mouth, the weight of your arms wherever they ended up, your hands, perhaps curled slightly, perhaps open. There is a quiet story in the way you're lying, and you don't have to change the ending. It's been a long one. You can feel that, even if you can't put words to why. The day might have left traces in you, a knot in your stomach, a heaviness in your chest, a buzzing behind your eyes. Those traces don't have to disappear for you to rest. They can simply be part of what is here, like the pillow, like the blanket, like the dark. Imagine just for a moment that this night doesn't need you to manage it, that the world outside this room will keep turning whether you stay awake thinking about it or not. The emails, the conversations, the plans, the problems, they're all waiting in another time zone, the one called later. Right now you are in the time zone of this bed, this breath, this quiet. Here, just here. Your only job is to lie where you are and let the minutes be what they are. You don't have to push sleep closer. You don't have to chase it down. If it wants to arrive, it knows the way. If your thoughts keep circling back to something, that's all right. They're used to being the ones in charge at 3 a.m. For now, they can circle in the background while your attention keeps returning, gently, to simple things. The weight of your heel against the mattress, the way your chest rises a little, then falls, the small warmth where your hand touches your body or the bed. Little by little, as you stay here, the edges of things can start to soften, not because you force them to, just because that's what edges do when they're not being held so tightly. The brightness of the clock is still there, but you don't need to check it. The number will change whether you look at it or not. If sleep comes soon, that's fine. If it takes its time, that's fine too. This space is here either way. You can rest inside the words or behind them, or underneath them. You can drift in and out, catching a phrase, missing the next, coming back again. There is no wrong way to be here. For now, the night can be simple. A body on a bed, air moving in and out, fabric against skin, darkness or almost darkness wrapping the room, thoughts doing what thoughts do, without needing a response to every single one. As you settle into this, you don't have to decide how the rest of the night will go. You're only ever in this breath, this moment, this small stretch of time. And for this stretch, you're not alone with your 3 a.m. wakefulness. There is something here with you, steady and unhurried, while the rest of the world sleeps. We'll stay right here for a while, with the bed holding you, the room around you, and the night unfolding at its own slow pace. The air around you carries a quiet stillness now, a kind of hush that settles over the room, over your body, over the space just behind your closed eyes. Somewhere in that hush, imagine there is a watchkeeper of the night. Not out in the world, not far away, but right here at the edge of your awareness. A presence that has been on duty for a long time, keeping an eye on every small sound, every tiny shift in the dark. Your body has its own watchkeeper. The part of you that listens for creaks in the house, for footsteps in the hallway, for the phone lighting up. The part that tightens your shoulders just a little, that holds your jaw a bit too firm, that keeps your eyes ready to open at the slightest change. Feel where that watchkeeper lives in you. Maybe in the muscles at the back of your neck, maybe in the way your chest holds itself just a bit lifted, as if it needs to be ready. Maybe in the way your hands curl, prepared to move. Notice how your body is lying here now. The weight of you, given to the bed. The shape of your spine, resting into the surface beneath it. The way the pillow cradles the back of your head, or your cheek, or your ear. There is a kind of post at which the watchkeeper stands, a small quiet lookout point inside you. It feels like the place where tension gathers first. The place that says, stay awake, stay ready, something might happen. Bring your attention to that post, not to argue with it, not to push it away, just to stand beside it for a moment, the way you might stand beside someone who has been working a long, long shift. Each exhale you breathe now can be a gentle nod to that watchkeeper, a way of saying, I see you. I know how long you've been on your feet. Feel the breath move out of you, soft and warm, and notice what your muscles do as the air leaves. The night around you has its own slow rhythm, walls holding steady, furniture quiet and unmoving. The ceiling above you, unchanged, simply existing in the dark. Against that stillness, your body is the one warm living thing. You can sense the warmth under your skin, where your clothes or sheets touch you. The way fabric lies across your legs or over your chest, like a light, steady hand resting there. The watchkeeper inside you has been scanning all of that all night, every night, checking the weight of the blanket, checking the angle of your head, checking the faintest noises from outside. Here, in this moment, you can imagine that watchkeeper finally taking a seat, not leaving, just sitting down on a low, sturdy bench inside your chest, or at the base of your skull. Still present but no longer standing at full alert. Feel how your body responds to that image. Perhaps your shoulders sink a little deeper into the mattress. Perhaps your lower back feels just a touch heavier. Perhaps your hands uncurl by a finger or two. The air against your skin is part of the night's quiet watch as well. Cooler where it touches what is uncovered, slightly warmer where it meets fabric. You can feel the edge where your sleeve ends, or where your blanket stops, like a soft border between warmth and air. Your watchkeeper has been guarding that border, checking the shift in temperature when you move a leg outside the covers, listening for the rustle of cloth when you turn, making sure everything is accounted for. Now, with your body a little more settled, that guard can lean back. Imagine them resting their back against the inside of your ribs, as if your bones were a solid wall behind them. They can feel your heartbeat there, not as an alarm, but as a slow, steady drum that keeps time with the night. Notice the weight of your heels against the mattress, how they press down, each one making its own small hollow in the surface beneath. The bed takes that pressure without resistance, without complaint. Your watchkeeper does not need to hold your legs up. Gravity is doing that work, and the mattress is meeting it. Feel the same with your hands. Where are they resting? On your stomach, your chest, beside you, under a pillow. Wherever they are, feel the simple fact that they are supported. Your fingers do not need to grip anything right now. They can soften into the surface they touch. The watchkeeper notices this. They see that the bed has taken over part of the job, that the pillow has taken over another part, that the walls, The ceiling, the closed door, all hold their places without needing to be checked again and again. With every breath out, the Watchkeeper can unfasten one small piece of armor. A little tension in the jaw unclasped, a small knot at the base of the neck loosened, a faint pulling in the forehead smoothed. Your face is part of this night watch too. It has been set in expressions all day. Concern, focus, politeness, effort. Now feel how your cheeks rest, soft and heavy. How your lips meet or gently part, without needing to form any words. Imagine the Watchkeeper stepping closer to your face from within, as if they can look out through your closed eyes. They see only darkness, and perhaps a faint glow from somewhere in the room. They hear the softest sounds, maybe a distant car, or a hum of something electrical, or the almost silence that is never quite silent. They check it once, they check it twice, then satisfied, they sit back again, this time a little lower, closer to your stomach, where the breath rises and falls. Your abdomen lifts with the inhale, then eases down with the exhale. A slow, gentle rocking from the inside. The Watchkeeper can rest their hand there, feeling that movement. They no longer need to pace the perimeter of your thoughts. They can simply sit and feel the breathing do its work. Your legs know how to be still. Your arms know how to be still. Even your eyelids, closed and soft, know how to rest over your eyes like curtains drawn at the end of a long day. Think of the Watchkeeper's feet now. They have been standing on the hard floor of your awareness for so long, always ready to move, to run, to respond. Now picture them slipping off heavy boots, setting them down beside that inner bench, bare feet resting on something softer, like the padded quiet of your own breathing. In this room, in this bed, the night does not ask anything new of you. The door holds its frame, the windows hold their glass, the ceiling holds its place overhead. Everything that needed watching has already been watched. If any thought tries to pull the Watchkeeper back to their post, you can imagine offering them a blanket. A simple, worn blanket, the kind that has seen many nights. They can pull it around their shoulders, feel its weight, and know that even if they stay awake a little longer, they can do it sitting down, resting, eyes half closed. Your skin feels the same kind of gentle weight from your own blanket or sheet, across your chest, over your stomach, along your thighs and feet. That steady pressure tells your body where it ends and the world begins. The Watchkeeper can trust that boundary for now. Each breath you take is like a slow, quiet clock inside you, not counting down to anything, just marking that this moment is here, and then this one, and then this one. The Watchkeeper listens to that clock and realizes nothing urgent is hiding between the ticks. Your spine, from the base of your skull all the way down to where it meets your hips, lies like a long, resting line, supported at every point. You can imagine the Watchkeeper tracing that line with their attention, checking each vertebra, each small curve. Finding no alarms, they can finally stretch out along that same line, as if your spine were a narrow bed made just for them. Feel how your whole back meets the surface beneath you. Upper back, shoulder blades, the broad flat of your ribs, lower back, hips, the back of your thighs. All of it held, all of it carried. The night Watchkeeper inside you has done their job well. They have stayed with you through so many hours. Now, as the room stays steady, as your body grows heavier, they can rest right where you rest, not leaving their post, just sharing in the softness that holds you. If they drift, you drift together. If they remain quietly awake, they do so from a place of comfort, not strain. Either way, your body can sink deeper into the mattress, into the pillow, into the warm shape it has made in the bed. Here, in this stillness, the watch is gentle now. The night holds its own vigil outside. Inside, your only task is to feel the weight, the warmth, the simple contact between your body and the place where it lies. The watchkeeper can close their eyes too, even if only for a moment, and rest in that same steady hold. The air around you carries a gentle stillness now, as if the room itself has taken a slow, steady breath and is holding it softly. Your body rests inside this quiet space, not outside it, not separate from it, right in the middle of it, like a chair placed in the calmest corner. Feel the surface beneath you, the mattress or the couch or whatever holds your weight. Notice how it rises up to meet you instead of you having to hold yourself up. The fabric touches your skin in steady, familiar places. Your back has its own conversation with the bed, where it presses more deeply, where there is a little pocket of air, where warmth is starting to collect, like a small private climate just for you. Around you, the room is its own kind of nest, walls standing in quiet lines, ceiling above you, not heavy, just present, like a soft lid on a box of calm. Furniture resting where it always rests, keeping you company without asking for anything. The air has a temperature that belongs to this night. Maybe a slight coolness brushes your cheeks or the tip of your nose. Maybe a gentle warmth wraps around your shoulders and chest. Notice where the air touches bare skin and where it meets fabric first. Each exhale spreads out into this room. It leaves your chest and slips into the space above you. It drifts into the corners, into the open spaces between furniture, and then disappears into the quiet. This room knows your breath. It has heard it many nights before. Your hands have settled into their places, maybe resting on your stomach, or by your sides, or tucked under a pillow. Feel the exact shape they make, the angle of each finger, the soft weight of your palms. The material beneath them holds their imprint for a moment, then eases back. Here, in this stillness, the room is not empty. It is full of soft, ordinary things. A blanket folded somewhere, a piece of clothing draped over a chair, a book or a glass of water within reach or just out of reach. You do not have to move to know these things are there. Your body recognizes the layout like a map it has walked 1,000 times. Even with your eyes closed, you could point to the door, to the window, to the place where the light would be if it were on. The familiarity wraps around you like another layer of cloth. The weight of your head against the pillow has its own quiet gravity. Feel how the pillow gives way, forming a shallow bowl just for the shape of your skull. Your neck is held not tightly, just enough so that it does not have to work. The fabric against your cheek is steady and patient. Somewhere in the room there may be a small sound, the faint hum of something electric, the distant murmur of pipes in the wall, maybe a car far away, softened by layers of brick and insulation and night. Each sound arrives and then it fades back into the background, like someone opening a door just a crack, then closing it again without a word. Nothing in this room is asking for your attention. The quiet is generous. It gives you back to yourself. Feel the weight of the blanket over you, if there is one. How it rests across your legs, your hips, your chest. Not heavy like a burden, but steady like a hand that says, "I'm here." The warmth underneath slowly builds, a small indoor weather system created by your own body. Your feet live at the far edge of this little climate. Notice whether they are warm or cool, whether they press into the mattress or angle slightly to one side. The fabric around them might be smooth or a little wrinkled, catching on your toes in tiny folds. Above you, the ceiling holds its silence. It has seen many nights, many versions of you lying here. Tonight, it simply stands guard, flat and calm, keeping the outside world where it belongs. You rest underneath, like a book closed gently on a table. Each breath out softens the edges of the room. The corners feel less sharp, more rounded. The furniture becomes shapes instead of objects, outlines instead of details. Your body doesn't need to track every item. It just feels the overall embrace of this enclosed space. Notice how the air moves as you breathe. On the in-breath, a slight coolness passes through your nose or mouth, down into your chest. On the out-breath, a faint warmth returns to the room, as if you are quietly heating the space from within. The room and your lungs trade temperature in a slow, easy rhythm. The mattress holds your hips with a steady, unchanging pressure. Your thighs rest outward or inward, whatever angle they have chosen. Beneath the blanket, fabric touches skin, or skin touches skin, and there is no hurry in any of it. This is the still part of the night, and your body has found its place in it. Somewhere near, there might be a piece of furniture that always creaks in the same way when touched. Tonight it is silent, but your body knows it is there, like an old friend in the next room. The quiet between you and that object is part of the atmosphere. Shared, familiar, unremarkable in the best way. Your shoulders sink into their own small hollows in the bed. Feel how one shoulder might be a little heavier than the other. How the fabric under your shoulder blades stretches just slightly, then settles. The muscles there can slacken into that support, trusting the surface to hold their weight. The room is not watching you. It is simply being here with you. Walls, ceiling, floor, furniture, fabric, air, all of it forming a soft container around this one human body, breathing in the middle of the night. If there is a window, it stands as a quiet border between inside and outside. The glass keeps the night air where it is, keeps the room's temperature its own. Even if a faint draft reaches you, it has been softened by curtains, by distance, by the stillness of the hour. Any coolness that arrives only makes the warmth under your blanket more noticeable. Your jaw rests in its own way. The angle of your chin, the way your lips touch, or almost touch. The pillow supports the back of your head so your face can simply be, without effort. Fabric brushes the side of your mouth, or your ear, or your temple, in the same gentle way each time you lie here. You are surrounded by edges that do not press in, the edges of the mattress, the outline of the blanket, the frame of the bed or the couch. All of them define a small island of comfort in the middle of the room. Inside that island, your limbs grow heavier. Your arms feel longer, as if the weight is flowing slowly toward your hands, pooling there. Your legs feel thick and solid, like they belong deeply to this piece of furniture. The more they sink, the more the room seems to rise up to meet them. Nothing in this space is urgent. The clock, if there is one, moves so quietly that its motion might as well be stillness. Objects sit where they were left. The door rests in its frame, closed or slightly open, but not in a hurry to change. Each inhale gathers the room a little closer. Each exhale releases a fraction more of your own weight into what is holding you. You do not have to manage anything about this process. It unfolds the way a dimmer switch slowly lowers the light, almost too gradually to notice. The fabric against your chest, your stomach, your thighs has its own small landscape. Tiny seams, a tag you can just barely feel. A place where the cloth is cooler, and another where it has already warmed to your skin. Your spine lies along its chosen curve, not straight like a ruler, not bent like a question, just following its own natural line. The bed traces that line, mirroring it with its own soft indentation, bone and cushion, each answering the other. Around you, the room keeps its quiet like a secret. The air hangs in a gentle pause. If a sound arrives, it is softened by fabric, by walls, by distance. Then it slips away again. Silence returns as the main presence, wide and calm. Here in this quiet room, you are one more resting thing among many. Like the chair in the corner, like the folded blanket, like the shoes by the door, or the lamp that is turned off. Everything that needed watching has been watched. Everything that needed holding is set down for now. The room holds its shape around you, steady and unchanged. And your body, wrapped in fabric and air and gentle pressure, settles a little deeper into this shared stillness. Each exhale settles a little more now. The breath moves in its own slow rhythm, like a pendulum that has found a gentle, steady swing. Somewhere inside this quiet, imagine a clock, not a bright, buzzing one, a soft, old clock, the kind that lives in a dim hallway, where the light is low and patient. Feel your next breath in, and as you breathe out, sense that clock in the distance of your awareness. Not to watch it, just to know it is there, keeping time so you do not have to. The air around you carries a muted hush, as though the room itself has drawn the curtains on the day. In that hush, the clock's presence is steady, a slow, even tick that you might not hear with your ears, but can feel with your body. Inhale. Notice the slight rise through your chest, your ribs. Exhale. Imagine the tick of the clock lining up with the soft fall of your breath. Tick as the breath comes in. Tock as the breath moves out. Nothing sharp, just a quiet wooden sound worn smooth by years of repeating itself. Now picture a lantern near that clock. Not a harsh, bright light. A small lantern with a warm, steady glow. Its light does not rush toward you. It simply exists, constant and kind. As you breathe in, feel that glow gather softly around your closed eyes. The skin there is thin and delicate. The lantern's light does not try to push through. It only rests against your eyelids like a gentle warmth. On the next exhale, notice the way your eyes sit in their sockets. Heavy, supported. Any tiny muscles around them can soften in the dimness. The lantern does the watching now. You can sink back from that job. The room of your body has its own corners of light and shadow. The lantern hangs somewhere near the center of that room. Its glow reaches only so far. Beyond it, shadows pool, deep and quiet, like pockets of rest. Bring your attention to your forehead. As you breathe in, it is as if the lantern's light brushes across it, a faint, warm stroke. On the breath out, the light recedes a little, and the shadow behind your forehead deepens, relaxing, unknotted. Feel your jaw now. The hinges, the muscles along the sides of your face. In the lantern's circle of light, you can see the outline of that tension, if there is any. On the exhale, it steps back into the shadow and loosens, as if setting down a weight. The clock continues. Tick with the inhale. Tock with the exhale. A slow, measured sound that asks nothing of you. Bring awareness to the tongue resting in your mouth. Notice if it is pressed up against the roof or held tight. Imagine the lantern's light dipping lower, just enough to touch that space. Warmth there, softness there. As you breathe out, the tongue can fall a little heavier, like something placed gently on a quiet shelf. Your neck carries the head, hour after hour. In this dim inner room, see your neck in profile, just within the lantern's reach. The front, the sides, the back where it meets the base of your skull. On your next inhale, the light traces these lines. On the exhale, the light fades back, and the muscles sink into shadow, released from holding themselves upright. The clock does not hurry. It has nothing else to be, just this steady marking of moments that you no longer need to track. Notice your shoulders, the upper edges, where they meet the air. Perhaps they have been standing guard all day. In the lantern's glow, you can see the outline of that effort like a faint sketch. With the next long breath out, that sketch is erased into the darker space, and the shoulders drop by a small, kind degree. The lantern hangs unmoving, but its light is gentle enough that it seems to breathe with you. As your chest rises, the glow feels a little closer. As your chest falls, the glow eases back, leaving more room for shadow. Follow the path of breath into your ribs, the sides of your body, the back against whatever supports you. Imagine the light brushing across your ribs like a slow hand over old wood. It doesn't need to see every detail, just enough to know that the structure is sound, that it can rest. On the exhale, the ribs settle. The spaces between them widen in the darkness. Your back presses down just slightly more into what holds it, the fabric, the surface, receiving that weight without question. Some parts of you are in the lantern circle, some are in shadow. Both are part of this same quiet room. Bring attention to your hands now, the weight of them, the way each finger curls or stretches. In the soft light, you might picture the small bones and tendons as fine clockwork, detailed and intricate. Breath in, the light reaches your hands, showing each line on the knuckles, each tiny joint. Breath out. The hands drift back into shadow, where they no longer have to grasp or gesture or explain. They can simply be hands, resting. The clock continues its gentle count. Tick, tock. The rhythm has become familiar now, like a background lullaby made of seconds. Move your awareness to your chest again. Notice the heart beating inside, its own quiet clock. You do not need to measure it. Just feel that there is a pulse, somewhere under bone and muscle, working without your attention. The lantern's glow does not reach all the way in there, but you might sense a faint reddish warmth, like light seen through closed doors. Your breath moves in. Your breath moves out. The heart continues, steady enough. Now your belly. The rise and fall is slower here, more spacious. Imagine the lantern's light dipping lower, casting a soft arc over your abdomen. Shadows gather in the folds of fabric, in the curve of your waist, in the hollow where your body meets the bed. As you exhale, the belly loosens. Any holding there, any small brace, can soften into the darkness. The lantern does not need to see everything. Some things are meant to rest unseen, further down your hips, heavier now. They feel like the base of a clock, solid and grounding. The light reaches them only faintly, like the last glow at the edge of a room. On each breath out, they seem to sink deeper into the surface beneath you, as if the shadows are thick and supportive, almost like a cushion made of night. The legs extend from that base, thighs, knees, shins. They stretch into the darker parts of the room of your body, where the lantern's reach is softest. You do not need to picture them clearly. Just know that they are there, long and quiet, no longer asked to move. Feel the weight of your heels, how they press down, how the material beneath them gives just a little, accepting that small, firm pressure without complaint. In the near dark, your feet are like objects set aside at the end of a long day, placed where they will not be disturbed. The clock's ticking has grown slower in your awareness, even if its pace has not changed. Your breath has found it. Inhale, exhale, time passing without urgency. Above all of this, the lantern continues to glow. It does not flare. It does not dim. It simply holds a small circle of light in the middle of your inner night. Within that circle, whatever thoughts still wander can step forward if they wish. They can be seen for a moment, gently, without judgment. And then, when they are ready, they can step back again into the comforting shadow where they do not need to perform. Your body is like this room. Some parts lit, some parts dark, all of it contained. All of it held by the steady presence of the clock, the quiet patience of the lantern. Breath in. Feel the light touch where it can. Breath out. Feel the shadows deepen, soft and kind. Nothing needs to be different right now. The clock will keep its rhythm. The lantern will keep its glow. You can rest in the space between them, where light and shadow meet, and the night moves on without asking anything more of you. Each exhale settles a little more of you. As the breath moves out, imagine you are walking deeper into a quiet archive of the night. Not a place you see with your eyes, but a place you can feel from the inside. Shelves of stillness rising up around you. A soft, steady order to everything that has happened today. Your chest rises, your chest falls. With each slow cycle, a door inside you swings open with a gentle, familiar creak. You step through without moving at all. This inner library has no rush. The air is cool and calm, like pages that have been resting for years. Your ribs widen on the in-breath, as if you're walking between tall shelves. On the out-breath, they ease back, as if you've reached the quiet center of the aisle. Notice the way your back meets the bed, The weight of your shoulders, like heavy leather-bound volumes that have finally been returned to their place. They sink into the support beneath them. Nothing is leaning on them anymore. Breathe in and feel the space across your collarbones, a long reading table cleared for the night. Breathe out and feel any leftover tension set itself down, like a stack of reports placed neatly at the edge, waiting to be closed. You don't need to read them now. They are simply there, resting. Inside this archive, every thought from your day has a folder. Some thick, some thin. Some marked urgent in bright ink, some barely labeled at all. As you inhale, feel the mind gather them into view. As you exhale, feel an inner hand slide them back into their slots. Your forehead is like a wide, smooth desk that once held scattered papers. Notice how it begins to clear. The small muscles around your eyes soften, as if someone has turned down the bright reading lamp. The light is gentle now, more like a distant glow than a sharp beam. Let your jaw hang a little looser, the upper and lower teeth not pressed together, just resting near each other, like two books leaning but not bearing weight. Tongue relaxed, not having to spell anything out, not having to sign anything off. The reports of the day can remain unwritten for now. Follow the breath again. In through the nose, slow and unforced. Out through the nose or mouth, even slower, like a librarian carefully sliding a heavy volume back into place. The movement is simple, unhurried, precise without trying. Your neck is the spine of this inner building, strong, but it has carried enough. Feel the back of your neck soften into the pillow, as if the whole structure of the day's attention is being gently unhooked. Each exhale, another key turned, another door quietly locked for the night. Across your shoulders, imagine rows of labeled boxes, conversations, tasks, little worries that flared up and faded. On the inhale, you acknowledge that they are there. On the exhale, you slide each box a little farther back on its shelf, where it can rest without you. The weight of your arms has its own quiet gravity. Upper arms heavy, like thick binders that no longer need to be carried from room to room. Elbows soft. Forearms lengthening, wrists uncurling, hands loosening their grip on invisible pens. Feel your fingers, each one like a slim bookmark that has been holding a place in some long story. Tonight, those markers can slip out. The pages will remember where they were. Your hands can spread or curl however they wish, empty, unused, peacefully idle. Your breath moves down into your chest again. Notice the gentle expansion, like the slow opening of a cabinet that has not been opened in a while. Inside, instead of clutter, there is space, room for the lungs to fill and empty, like bellows that have found a steady, soothing rhythm. As you breathe out, sense a soft filing happening in your rib cage, not with effort, but with inevitability. What belongs to today slides into today's folder. What belongs to some other time finds its own drawer, its own label, its own quiet. Behind your closed eyes there is a reading room where no one is working anymore. Chairs pushed in, pens capped, notebooks closed, spines resting. You are simply sitting in the hush of that room, feeling the way silence has a texture, like thick paper that never tears. Your spine, from the base of your skull down to your lower back, is a central aisle. On either side, shelves of memories, impressions, tiny details of the day. With each breath, attention walks slowly down this aisle, not stopping to examine, just noticing that everything is stored. Nothing is lost. Nothing needs to be held in your hands. Feel the weight at the back of your ribs, the gentle press into the mattress, like a cart that has finally been wheeled into its corner and left in peace. The muscles along your back ease one by one, as if each bookend has been removed, and the books can lean softly into each other. Your hips are deep, solid shelves near the floor. They have carried the boxes and bags and burdens of the day. Now they widen into stillness. Notice how they sink, how the bed rises to meet them, how this simple contact says, "Set it down here." Breath flows into the belly, not forcing, just arriving. On the inhale, the belly lifts, like a drawer being pulled gently open. On the exhale, it settles back, like that same drawer closing with a soft padded click. Inside that drawer, the oldest worries like to curl up. They are used to staying open, used to being rifled through. Tonight, as the breath moves in and out, imagine placing a thin sheet of tissue over them, not to hide them, just to soften their edges, to tell them the reviewing is over for now. Feel the heaviness of your pelvis, the steadiness of your thighs. They rest like thick bound volumes laid flat, spine to the surface, no longer upright and alert. The muscles at the front of your thighs unwind. The backs of your legs give in to gravity, like pages that finally lie flat after being held open all day. Your knees, your shins, your calves. Each part has its own archive of small movements, steps taken, positions held. Imagine those records being stamped, completed for today. Not erased, just finished. Notice your ankles, the slight outward roll, the way the blankets or air touch your skin. They feel like the hinges of a door that has swung shut for the evening. No more traffic in or out, just the quiet of a closed corridor. Now bring your attention all the way down to your feet. Heels pressing into the bed, each one a heavy bookend that does not need to move. Arches soft, toes loose, like slips of paper that have fluttered free and come to rest. Nothing to stand on, nothing to walk toward. The whole body now is like a building after closing hours. Lights dimmed, desks cleared, shelves in their exact, undisturbed order. Every report from the day has been logged, time-stamped, and placed where it belongs. Your breath is the only movement that remains. In, a soft rustle, like a page turning somewhere deep in the stacks. Out, a faint exhale of air from a long, narrow vent. Steady, predictable, comfortingly the same again and again. Some thoughts may still wander the aisles. They may pick up a folder, glance at a page, start to read. That is all right. Each time you notice, feel yourself gently closing that folder and sliding it back into its spot, guided by the rhythm of your breathing. Inhale, and the chest opens a little. Exhale, and the body sinks a little deeper into its own shelves. You are not the reports. You are not the folders or the labels. You are the quiet building that holds them all, untroubled by their contents. Here, in this inner archive, everything that needed watching has been watched. Everything that needed recording has been recorded. For now, the work of the day is checked in, stamped, and stored. The night staff is only your breath moving slowly through the halls, making sure all is still. And as your breathing continues, steady and soft, the library of your body rests, shelves unmoving, pages undisturbed. The night's reports set down, one by one. until there is only the hush of being here and the gentle rise and fall that carries you deeper inside. Each exhale settles a little further now, like a slow step, unhurried, certain. Imagine you are standing just inside the edge of a quiet field at night, not out in the open, right at the border, where the soft ground meets a simple, worn path. Your body is still lying where it is, but in your mind, you are here, barely moving, just feeling the way the air rests against your skin. Take a slow breath in, as if you are preparing to walk, and as you breathe out, feel how your weight sinks a little deeper into the bed, like a foot settling fully into the earth before the next step. There is a gentle path that circles this field, a narrow ring of packed earth. You know that if you walked it, you would come back to where you began. No decisions, no crossroads, only one quiet loop. Your breath becomes your walking. Inhale, a step forward. Exhale, the foot comes down, the body rests. Start with the soles of your feet. In your mind, they meet the ground. Notice the texture there. Not rough, not sharp, just firm enough to hold you, soft enough to give a little under your weight. Feel your actual feet where they are, the way they touch the blanket or the air, the small warmth gathered around your toes, as if the path is warming slightly under each imagined step. With the next breath in, imagine lifting your right foot, not high, barely leaving the ground, and as you breathe out, it returns to the path, heel first, then the rest of the foot, spreading your weight slowly, like ink soaking into paper. Your ankles follow. In this slow walking, they do not rush. They turn just enough to guide you along the curve of the field. Feel them in your body now. Any tightness, any small ache, as if those places are stones you notice along the edge of the path. Seen, acknowledged, not something you have to pick up or carry. With each exhale, imagine the ground smoothing itself under you, as though the path rearranges to be easier. Where your ankles feel stiff, the earth makes room. Your joints answer by softening a fraction. Move your attention up to your calves. In this quiet walk around the perimeter, they are doing almost nothing. No climbing, no pushing. Just the gentle work of staying upright, step by step. Feel your calves as they rest. The pull of gravity on them, the way the fabric brushes their surface, or the coolness of air against skin, as if the night around the field is brushing past, barely touching, then moving on. Another breath in, another slow step along the edge. As you breathe out, your calves grow heavier, like two small bags of sand placed carefully on the path. Settling, spreading, finding their shape and staying there. Your knees mark the turning points of this circle, each one a small hinge that knows how to bend and straighten without being told. In your mind, feel the simple rhythm there. Bend, straighten, bend, straighten. No effort beyond what is needed. Sense your actual knees, any warmth, any coolness, the way they are held by the mattress or the air, as if the path pauses beneath each one, giving them an extra heartbeat of support before you move on. The perimeter you are walking is not large. You could cross it in a handful of breaths, but tonight it stretches out gently, matching your pace, never asking you to hurry, never asking you to stop. Your thighs carry you next. They are the broad, steady part of this walk. the quiet strength that does not need to prove anything. Feel their weight, the way they sink into what holds them. Imagine that with each step along the path, the ground rises just enough to meet them. Nothing wasted, no extra strain. With each exhale, your thighs soften, muscles untying their knots, fibers loosening like a rope that has been pulled too tight for too long. The path around the field accepts all of that, takes it in without a sound, leaves only the feeling of being carried. Your hips are the center of this slow circle, the quiet pivot point. As you walk the perimeter in your mind, your hips turn a little with each step, guiding you along the curve, never forcing, only suggesting the direction. Feel your hips where they rest, the weight of them, the way they press down, claiming their small piece of space. Imagine the earth beneath the path doing the same, settled, solid, not needing to move. With every breath out, something in your hips eases, a small release deep inside the joints, like a door that has been held just barely open, finally swinging to rest in its frame, not closing you in, just coming to stillness. Your spine follows the path next, not in straight lines, in a gentle curve that matches the perimeter of the field. From the base of your spine, where it meets the hips, all the way up to the back of your neck, imagine each segment as a marker along this circle. As you breathe in, your spine lengthens a little, as if you are standing a touch taller on the path. As you breathe out, it settles back, like a post set firmly into the ground, finding its depth. Feel the points where your back meets the bed. Each contact is like a footprint left behind on the earth. Quiet evidence that you have passed this way. The mattress gives a little under each point, the way soil gives under a slow, careful step. Your shoulders are the corners of this perimeter, even though there are no sharp angles here. They are simply where the circle feels widest, where you sense the space around you most clearly. Notice how they rest. If they are lifted, imagine the path beneath you tilting just enough that your shoulders can roll back and down, as if the earth is saying very softly here, this is the line. You can follow it without carrying everything on top. With each exhale, feel a slight dropping in your shoulders, like a heavy coat slipping from a hook and landing in a quiet heap on the floor. The perimeter does not need you to hold anything up. It only asks that you keep walking, breath by breath, step by step. Your arms hang easily now in this imagined walk, by your sides, or folded, or resting in whatever way they are resting in real life. They are not doing the walking. They are simply coming along for the circle. Sense the weight in your upper arms, your forearms, your hands, each finger like a small stone that has finally found its place along the edge of the field. No need to move, no need to grip. Your neck is the slender part of the path where it curves gently toward home. Feel how your head rests at the top of it, balanced, held, like the final lantern at the far corner of the field, glowing softly, not needing to shine for anyone. With each breath in, the back of your neck lengthens a little, as if the path smooths beneath you. With each breath out, your head grows heavier against what supports it. The pillow, the air, the darkness, all of them together forming the softest part of the perimeter. Now notice the space behind your closed eyes. This is the field itself, quiet, unlit, wide in a way that does not ask to be measured. You are not crossing it. You are only walking its edge, tracing the line that holds it. Your breath is the steady sound of your own footsteps, soft, even, repeating. Inhale. One more slow step. Exhale. The foot comes down. Muscles soften. The body sinks a fraction deeper. Around and around this gentle border you go, without needing to see where you are. The path knows its own shape. Your breath knows its own rhythm. Your body knows how to follow. If thoughts appear, they are like small posts along the perimeter. You pass them. You recognize them. You keep walking. The circle does not break. With every circuit of this quiet edge, your inner landscape grows more still. The field behind your eyes grows darker, softer, more forgiving. The path beneath you grows smoother. Your steps grow slower. Your breath grows quieter, until, for a moment, it is hard to tell where the path ends and your body begins. Only this slow perimeter, only this gentle walking, only this night that holds you as you move. Each exhale settles a little farther out, as if your breath is moving beyond the room now, as if behind your closed eyes something wider is beginning to open. The space inside your chest expands, then softens, like a dark horizon, slowly stretching in every direction. Inhale and feel that gentle rise. Exhale and feel how far it seems to travel, almost as though each breath is a small quiet star being placed in a vast night sky. Your body rests here, heavy and clear in its shape, and at the same time there is this other sense of space, the sense that inside you and all around you, a dark, calm sky is taking over. Notice the space behind your forehead, that soft, dim area behind your brow. Imagine it as the first patch of night, a deep blue-black just after the sun has slipped away. With your next inhale, that patch of night widens. With your exhale, it darkens, becomes smoother, quieter. The small movements of thought are like faint glimmers, tiny points of light that appear and fade. They don't need to be chased. They can just hang there, like distant stars, while the sky itself remains still. Feel the gentle weight of your eyes, lids resting, or almost resting. Behind them, the sky continues to spread. From the space behind your eyes, the night reaches back into your head. It moves like a slow, silent tide of darkness, but without water, without sound. Just a widening field of deep, open space. Your breath is the quiet rhythm of this sky. Inhale, a soft drawing in, as if the sky gathers itself. Exhale, a long, unhurried release, as if the sky is expanding, making room for more stars. Bring your attention to your jaw now, the hinge, the muscles around your cheeks, the corners of your mouth. In this night sky, those places are like small, dense constellations that have been working all day. On your next exhale, imagine those constellations drifting apart, the tight clusters of effort spreading into gentle, scattered points of light. Nothing holding them together anymore, just stars floating in a huge, quiet dark. Your tongue can rest heavy. Your teeth can stop bracing. The sky behind your face grows darker, more open, as if the last trace of daylight has finally dissolved. Now feel the back of your head where it meets the pillow or surface beneath you. That contact point has its own gravity. It presses down, steady and sure. Above that point, Inside the curve of your skull, picture an enormous dome of night, round, endless, and soft. Your thoughts, if they appear, are like slow-moving satellites crossing the dome. They pass. They do not need to stop. Each exhale is a long, quiet trail behind them, fading until only the dark remains. Move your attention down into your throat, your neck. These are like the slender paths where the sky narrows, then opens again. As you breathe in, feel a coolness, or the idea of coolness moving through. As you breathe out, the pathways widen, like corridors of night clearing of any last thin clouds. The muscles along the sides of your neck can soften into this darkness, like small clusters of stars that have finished their shining for now, dimming, resting in place. Across your shoulders, imagine a broad stretch of night, a wide, quiet band of sky. All day, this band may have carried weight, like a belt lined with bright, buzzing lights. Now, with each slow breath, those lights go out, one by one, not abruptly. They fade gently, like street lamps at dawn, except here, the dawn is reversed. Here, the deeper the night becomes, the more at ease everything feels. Your shoulders sink a little heavier into the surface beneath you. As they do, the sky above them grows even more expansive. No edges, no ceiling, just a sense that if your awareness lifted from your body, it could drift upward forever into that dark. Bring your attention to your chest again. Feel the rise as you breathe in, the fall as you breathe out. Inside, the night sky is not empty. It is full of tiny, quiet flickers. The slow pulse of your heart, the soft movement of air. Each of these is like a distant star, pulsing in its own rhythm, steady and unconcerned. You do not have to adjust that rhythm. You do not have to shape it into anything special. Just feel how, with every exhale, the space between these inner stars grows calmer, wider, more silent. Your ribs spread and return, like the horizon of this inner sky gently breathing. Inhale, the horizon comes closer. Exhale, it drifts away, revealing more and more dark, peaceful distance. Now, down into your stomach, your belly. This is a softer region of the sky, a place where the darkness feels thick, almost velvety. As your breath moves here, notice how the front of your body rises like a slow, dark balloon, then eases back down, settling into the vastness beneath it. Any tightness, any fluttering, can be imagined as clusters of tiny meteors that have been racing around. On your next few exhales, picture them cooling, their trails dimming, until they simply become small, harmless stones resting in the quiet dark. Your lower back, your hips, the weight of your pelvis. These are like the densest parts of the night, places where gravity is strong, where the sky folds in on itself a little. Feel how heavy they are, how firmly they press down. In response, the sky within you and around you arches up and over, like a great protective canopy of darkness. There is a sense of being under that canopy, and also being part of it. Your body is the ground, the point of contact. Your breath is the slow turning of this inner universe. Notice your arms now. Upper arms, elbows, forearms, hands. They rest like long, quiet bands across the night. The small sensations in your fingertips, the faint tingling or warmth, are like clusters of very close, bright stars. They shimmer a little, then settle. You might even imagine each fingertip as a single star, glowing softly, then dimming with each exhale. As your hands grow heavier, the light in those stars lowers, not gone, just turned down, as if the sky is preparing for deeper rest. Your legs, from hips to knees to ankles, extend through this night like long paths through space. The muscles along them can release, the way a long beam of light slowly fades into the dark. Your heels press into the mattress or surface. Notice that small, steady pressure. It is like two tiny anchors, holding you in place while the sky around you expands without limit. From those anchors, awareness can drift upward again, through your legs, through your hips, through your spine, all the way back into that wide dome of night behind your eyes. Here, in this stillness, you are both very small and very vast, a single body resting, and also a whole sky, stretching in every direction. Thoughts may still appear. They are simply more stars, some bright, some faint, some passing quickly, some lingering. There is no need to sort them, no need to follow their paths. The real presence here is the sky itself, the soft, enormous dark that holds every glimmer without effort. Each inhale, feel that holding. Each exhale, feel the sky grow even wider, even quieter. If a worry shows up, imagine it as a star that has flared too bright. See it gently dimming, cooling, returning to the background. The sky does not strain to make this happen. It just waits, and in that waiting, everything calms. Your body continues its own quiet work. Your breath continues its steady rhythm. Above, within, and all around, the night sky has taken over, and you can rest here, inside this vastness, as long as you need. The rhythm of your breathing moves on by itself now, slow, unhurried, like something carried along. Imagine you are sitting by a window on a night train, the kind that travels quietly through the dark, not rushing anywhere, just gliding forward, steady and sure. The carriage is dim, soft light above you, not quite bright, not quite gone. The fabric of the seat holds your weight. It remembers the shape of others who have rested here. Outside, the night passes, black and deep and endless. Every now and then, a faint glow in the distance, a farmhouse, a crossing, a cluster of windows. They appear, they slide by, they fall away behind you. Thoughts can be like those passing lights. They show up for a moment at the edge of your attention, recognizable. Then the train keeps moving, and they are already gone. You do not have to turn your head to follow them. You can stay where you are, held by the seat, rocked by the slow, almost invisible sway of the carriage. Feel how still your body is, and yet somewhere underneath there is motion, a quiet, even hum, a soft vibration through the floor, through the frame, through you. It is gentle enough that you hardly notice it, just enough to blur the edges of things, just enough to make time feel like one long, unbroken line. The window beside you is cool. You could lean your head toward it without quite touching. Sense the thin sheet of glass between you and the open night, close enough to feel, far enough to forget. Outside, shapes appear and disappear. A line of trees, a low hill, the hint of a road that crosses and is gone. They do not ask you to decide anything about them. They do not stay long enough for that. They are just there, and then not. Some thoughts arrive in the same way. A memory, an unfinished conversation, a question that once felt urgent. They rise like a small town in the distance, a few lit windows, a sign you cannot read from here, a street you will not walk tonight. The train keeps its pace. Your breathing keeps its pace. The thought stays where it is, out there in the dark. You move on. Inside the carriage, the air is mild, not warm, not cold. Just the temperature of resting, the temperature of in-between. Your hands, wherever they are, grow heavier, as if gravity has thickened around them, as if the fabric beneath them has deepened, turned from cloth into something like soft earth. The boundary of your body begins to soften. The edge where you end and the seat begins is not so clear now. It all blends into one field of weight and warmth. The gentle rocking of the train smooths out any sharpness. Corners become curves. Tension becomes a slower kind of energy, spreading, thinning, dissolving into the hum of the rails. Somewhere, far ahead, the driver watches the track. Signals pass, switches change, distances are measured and kept. You do not have to watch with them. You are the passenger here, carried through the dark by something that knows the way. If a worry appears, you might imagine it as a station you pass without stopping, a platform with a few benches, a clock you glimpse but do not read. The train rolls through. You feel the slight change in sound, the echo of structures on either side, and then open night again. The worry stays at its own small station. You keep moving. Listen, in your mind, for the faint rhythm beneath everything. The steady clack, 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 not loud, more like a memory of sound than sound itself. It marks time in a way that loosens time. Each beat the same, each beat already fading as the next one comes. So many that no single one matters. Your sense of distance begins to blur. Are you far from where you started? Close to where you are going? The questions lose their edges. All that remains is this. The soft seat under you, the dark outside, the motion that you feel and do not feel. Even your body becomes a little like the night outside the window. Not sharply outlined, more like a stretch of quiet landscape seen briefly as the train goes by. Your legs are one long field, your arms, two gentle roads that no one needs to travel. Your chest, a wide, slow valley, where the breath moves like mist. Thoughts may still appear. They can take the form of distant crossings, a flash of red from a signal, the suggestion of another track curving away. You notice, and then the train has already passed. The crossing is behind you. The signal belongs to some other route. The other track follows its own story, somewhere else. Inside, the lights hum softly. Someone might shift in a seat far down the carriage. Fabric rustles. Then stillness returns. You are part of this long, quiet vehicle, sliding through the night. Your weight is part of its weight. Your stillness is part of its smooth, unbroken line. If your mind reaches for something to hold, it can rest on the simple fact of forward motion. Not fast, not slow, just ongoing. No need to know the names of the towns you pass. No need to see the map. The track is already laid. The wheels already know how to follow it. The longer you ride, the more the difference between inside and outside begins to fade. The window is just a thin idea. The dark beyond it, and the dark behind your closed eyes. Almost the same. You might feel your body as a carriage of its own, a quiet compartment moving through sleep. Organs, bones, muscles, all passengers too, each one resting, rocked by the same steady motion. The night outside is wide enough to hold every unfinished thing, every plan, every question. They can wait along the tracks, small and patient. For now you stay with the rhythm, the breath, the soft sway, the sense of being carried through a darkness that asks nothing of you. Station after station may appear in the distance of your thoughts. Names you once cared about, schedules you once watched closely, they are just signs at the edge of the track now. The train does not slow. It continues through the passing night, and you, here in your seat, grow lighter at the edges, heavier at the center, as if your body is the quiet heart of the carriage, as if the whole long train is arranged around your rest, as if the night itself has bent a little, to make room for you to drift. The weight of your body has already begun to soften, as if the edges have blurred, as if the outline that used to feel so clear is now only a suggestion. Somewhere beneath you, the bed holds its shape, but around you, space opens. Quiet, patient space. Each exhale loosens another small knot of effort. Every breath out is like setting something down. A thought, a task, a name. The room is still here, but it has stepped back. Walls, ceiling, furniture, all taking one slow step away, as if they are dimming themselves, turning down their sharpness. What remains, right where you are, is a kind of gentle suspension. Not up, not down, just not pinned. The weight of your hands has its own memory of holding, of carrying. For now they forget all of that. They rest where they are, and then, almost imperceptibly, they loosen from the pull beneath them. Imagine that gravity has grown sleepy too, not gone, just drowsy, its grip on you softer than usual, like someone who meant to hold on tightly and then drifted off mid-embrace. Your back, your shoulders, the curve of your spine. They feel the surface under them, and at the same time, there is a sense that the surface is thinning, becoming less solid, less insistent, as if the mattress were quietly stepping aside, not dropping you, just not needing you to press down so hard. In this in-between, your body begins to float off duty. All the tiny muscles that spend the day making you upright, making you ready, making you present, they clock out one by one, without ceremony. The air around you feels wider, more spacious than a room. It has no corners, no edges. It stretches in every direction, without needing to explain where it ends. You are not rising into it. It is simply meeting you, holding you without touch, carrying you without effort. Thoughts may still appear. They can move through this space like faint shapes, like small objects drifting in a vast, quiet chamber. They pass by slowly with no urgency. Nothing to bump into, nothing to disturb. You can watch them if you like, or not. They are light enough now that even your attention is not required to keep them aloft. Notice how the idea of up and down starts to feel uncertain, as if those words belong to a different time of day, a time with schedules and doors and shoes. Here they do not apply as much. Here the body is less of a solid thing, more of a presence in space, a soft cloud of warmth and sensation suspended. Your feet, usually so tethered, begin to lose their story of standing and walking and going. They become two warm points in a field of air, not pushed, not pulled, just there. The same with your legs. They do not have to hold you. They do not have to be ready to move. They are simply floating in place, like objects in a room where gravity has been turned down to its lowest setting. Your hips and lower back, often carrying more than their share, grow lighter, as if the weight they've been holding all day has slipped through them and disappeared into the air. Not dropped, not stored, just gone. Breath continues without needing any help. In, out. A slow, quiet rhythm. Each inhale brings a sense of gentle expansion. Each exhale a slight drifting, further from the old boundaries. Your chest feels less like a solid wall and more like a soft balloon, not stretching, not straining, just rising and settling in the mildest way, barely touching the idea of movement. Around your neck and throat, the usual tightness unwinds. The cords and lines that once felt like cables now feel like threads in waterless space, loose, unknotted, floating in their own small orbit. Your head rests where it rests, and yet even here, the border between skull and air is uncertain. The pressure of the pillow grows lighter, as if your head has become hollowed out of effort, filled instead with stillness, and a kind of quiet, weightless hum. Inside this hum, thoughts that used to feel heavy become airy. They lose their corners, their urgency. They are like distant satellites, circling slowly, too far away to tug at you. Time too loosens its hold. Minutes do not stack. They drift. They spread out in all directions, like tiny specks in a vast, dim room. No schedule, no next thing. Here, in this floating off duty, the body is not something to manage. It is not a project, not a problem to solve. It is simply a soft cluster of sensations, suspended in a gentle, endless field. You might sense your outline one moment, and then lose track of it the next. Both are fine. Both belong to this strange, kind weightlessness. If a thought comes close, you can imagine it losing mass as it approaches, becoming so light that it cannot land. It drifts near you, then past you, then away. No impact, no trace. Every so often you may feel the bed again, the pull of down, the familiar sense of contact, and then, like a tide that never quite reaches the shore, that feeling recedes. You are back in the soft suspension, neither here nor there, just held by the absence of effort. Your breathing continues to guide the rhythm of this floating. In, a slight gathering. Out, a gentle spreading. As if your whole being were moving with the slowest, quietest pulse. Nothing in this space needs to be fixed. Nothing needs to be understood. Everything that used to feel solid and demanding has thinned into something softer, more distant. You are not required to stay alert. You are not required to remember. You can drift in and out of these words, the way a feather moves through still air, sometimes closer, sometimes farther, never falling, never forced. In this weightless room without walls, your body rests without needing to push against anything. Your mind rests without needing to hold anything up. And if sleep begins to gather around you now, it can do so easily, quietly, as naturally as an object, released from every string, coming to rest in mid-air, without needing to land. The weight of your body is known now, familiar, held. Around you, the room has grown quieter. Edges have softened. Even the air seems to move more slowly. Somewhere, in a place just beyond thought, there is a watcher, a quiet presence that has been keeping an eye on everything, on the clock, on the worries, on the long, thin threads of plans and questions. It has been standing at the window of your mind, looking out, keeping track, holding the light just bright enough so nothing would be missed. Now the light it holds begins to dim, not all at once, like a lantern at the end of its oil, the flame smaller, softer, gentler on the eyes. Shadows lengthen in that inner room. They are not sharp or frightening. They blur at the edges. They spread out like ink in water, slow and quiet. The watchkeeper takes one last look around. It glances at the thoughts stacked on the table. A few are still open. Most are already closed, their pages resting together in the dark. Nothing urgent calls out. Nothing demands to be solved. The watchkeeper notices this, nods to itself in a way that needs no words. The light in its hand flickers again. On the wall, shapes that were once clear begin to lose their outlines. Corners soften, lines melt into one another. Light and shadow no longer argue about where one ends and the other begins. Your breath moves in this dimming space, quiet, unhurried, as if it too has been watching, and now can finally sit down. With each exhale, the glow inside grows a little fainter, like the last light of evening sliding off the side of a building, like the final thin stripe of brightness at the edge of a curtain. In that half-light, the watchkeeper's eyes grow heavy. It blinks more slowly. The details it used to track so carefully now appear as soft smudges. Numbers blur, faces fade. Timelines dissolve into simple shades of dark and less dark. Thoughts that once stood upright like tall bright lamps begin to bow. Their beams sink toward the floor, then lower still, until they are only a faint glow along the ground. Then just a memory of glow. You can sense this gentle fading without needing to hold it. Awareness is still here, but it doesn't lean forward anymore. It leans back. It reclines in the chair by the window. The sounds around you are part of this dimming too. Even if the world is not entirely silent, it feels further away, as though each sound has stepped back into the shade, muted, wrapped in cloth. The watchkeeper listens once more. A final, careful scan. It hears the steady rhythm of your breath, the quiet weight of your body, the stillness that has settled in the spaces between thoughts. This is enough, more than enough. The small light in its hand lowers. Its circle on the floor shrinks. What was once a bright pool becomes a narrow ribbon, then a thin line, then just a suggestion of brightness that might be there, or might already be gone. In that soft, almost dark, your sense of where your body ends becomes less certain. The edges of your shoulders feel less like borders, more like gentle gradients. The line between your skin and the air is hard to find, as if your outline has been drawn in charcoal and then brushed with a thumb until it blurs. The watchkeeper notices this too. It has been guarding those edges for a long time, making sure everything stayed in its place. Now it sees how kind it is to let the boundaries soften, to let the body spill a little into the surrounding dimness. Light and shadow mingle along your arms, along your legs. Not real light, not real shadow, just that sense of brightness and darkness inside, trading places. The bright thoughts dimming, The dark space is warming. Even the idea of time, which the Watchkeeper has held so tightly, begins to fade. The sharp ticks and tocks it once counted become smooth. They stretch, they lengthen, until they are no longer separate moments, but one long, quiet shade. The Watchkeeper looks at the clock one last time. The hands are still there, but their meaning has thinned. Numbers lose their firmness. They drift like faint reflections. It becomes hard to say if a minute has passed or many. This does not need to be understood. It only needs to be felt as a soft unhooking, a gentle slipping of time's grip from your shoulders. The schedule loosens, the pressure eases, the night widens around you. The Watchkeeper's last glance moves over everything it has cared for, over the questions, over the plans, over the small bright worries that once flared like sparks. Most of them are already cooling in the dim. What remains is only a faint afterglow, a suggestion of shapes that no longer need to be named. The light grows thinner still. It threads itself through the shadows like fine smoke, barely there, almost imagined. In this almost dark, your thoughts feel distant, as if they belong to another room, another floor of the building. You might hear a murmur now and then, but it does not reach you clearly. It does not ask anything of you. The Watchkeeper stands at the threshold of this inner room, its lantern now only a soft ember cupped in its hands. It looks back once more, not with worry, with a quiet recognition that its work for now is done. The ember dims as it looks, red to orange, orange to a dusky gold, then to a warm, colorless glow that is more feeling than light. Around you, the shadows are no longer separate things. They are simply the gentle absence of effort, the way the body feels when it is no longer trying to be a shape, when it is simply resting in the dark. The Watchkeeper's eyes close. The ember in its hands goes from glow to memory of glow, from memory to nothing at all. There is no switch being flipped, no sudden drop, just a slow, quiet folding of light into shadow, of watching into resting, of holding on into simply being here. In this soft, fading place, you are not the watcher. You are not the one being watched. You are the space where light once was, the space where shadow now is, the space that remains when both are forgotten. The last trace of brightness slips into the dark. The Watchkeeper's last glance has passed. What is left is this gentle, open dimness, deep, quiet, unhurried. You can drift here, without edges, without time, in the hush that follows after the light has finally gone out. The container around you holds steady, quiet walls, soft edges, nothing sharp. It fits you, not tight, not loose, just enough. The air inside is calm, not moving much, just resting with you. Outside this container, life can keep going. It can turn and change and hurry if it wants to. It does not reach you here. Here the space knows your shape, the curve of your back, the weight of your head, the slow rise of your chest. Every breath settles into this holding place, like something gently placed in a box, and the lid closed, without a sound. No one is looking through the sides. No one is checking. No one is measuring how well you rest. This is a room within a room, a soft-lined box within the night. You in the very center. The edges are firm enough to lean on. They do not ask anything of you. They simply stay. Thoughts that used to rush past, can set themselves down in the corners. They can curl up there, like folded notes no longer needing to be read. If a thought still wanders close, the container knows what to do. It gives that thought a quiet shelf and leaves it there. You do not have to hold anything in your hands. You do not have to keep watch. The holding is done for you by the walls, by the softness, by the simple fact of being enclosed. Notice how the weight of your body sinks a little more when you remember that nothing can spill out. Every part of you has a place to land. The ceiling of this container hangs above you, not heavy, just present, like a calm palm hovering over a candle, shielding the flame from any sudden draft. Inside, the light is low, not dark, not bright. A gentle dim that does not ask your eyes to work. Your thoughts can dim in the same way, not forced off. Just turned down, knob by quiet knob. If there were windows here, their curtains would already be drawn. If there were doors, they would already be resting on their hinges closed without a click. You are tucked inside the innermost layer, the part no one else reaches, the part that does not have to perform. Even your breathing seems to belong to the container now, as if the whole space expands a little when you inhale and softens back around you when you exhale. The walls breathe with you. The corners breathe with you. The floor beneath you answers each slow sigh by holding you a fraction deeper. Nothing inside this space needs guarding. Nothing inside this space can be late. If a memory drifts in, the container gives it a seat at the very back, far from where you are lying. It can sit there quietly until it too grows drowsy. The world outside can keep its clocks, its lights, and its open doors. In here, time folds in on itself, like a blanket pulled over your shoulders. You are cradled by boundaries that do not move. They do not judge what you bring. They simply receive it, then grow still again. You may notice the small details of this holding, the way the air feels slightly warmer near your face, the way the space around your legs seems to thicken with rest. Even the silence has texture here, soft at the edges, thick enough that sounds from outside arrive muted if they arrive at all. No one needs to know what you are thinking. No one needs to see how you are lying. This is your unseen corner of the night. The container understands closed eyes. It understands half-finished thoughts. It understands the way your mind drifts off mid-sentence and does not ask you to finish. You are allowed to fade in and out, to lose the thread, to forget what you were listening for. The container will remember for you where you are, held inside. If you imagine the edges of this space with your mind's hand, you can trace them slowly one side at a time until the shape becomes simple, known, predictable. Once you know the shape, you do not need to keep checking it. You can stop reaching. You can stop scanning. Everything that needed watching has already been placed within these walls, already set down, already quiet. Now the container can do what it does best. Close in just enough to keep the night outside and your resting body inside. You can thin out thought by thought like mist settling to the bottom of a glass. The container does not mind how long it takes. Even as you drift it stays, unmoving, unblinking. No one needs to watch. The walls are watching for you, and they are so very, very still. And now the one inside you who has been watching can set everything down. Nothing needs checking. Nothing needs holding up. The night has it. All the thoughts that stayed awake with you can grow quiet at the edges. They can drift to the sides like people leaving a room that has gone dim and still. What remains is simple. Your weight, your breath. This soft, steady here. Each breath comes, each breath goes. You do not have to follow them anymore. They know the way. If a thought stirs, it can pass through like a shadow at the door, not coming in, not staying long. You are lying where you are. The ground beneath you holds all of you, without asking for anything back. Your body understands this hour. It knows how to sink, how to loosen, how to fade from the edges inward. Even the part of you that listens is getting tired now. Words land more slowly. They spread out. They thin. You might notice the small heaviness in your hands, the way your jaw has softened, the way your eyes rest. Even if they are not fully closed, nothing to fix, nothing to solve, just this gentle weight, this quiet air, this slow, steady rhythm that keeps going, whether you notice it or not. If sounds appear around you, they can be far away, soft, unimportant. Everything that needed your attention tonight has been seen. It can wait somewhere outside this room, outside this moment, until another time. Inside, there is only this. In, out. A small pause in between. That feels like a blank page. You can rest there, in that blankness, in that tiny space, where nothing is asked of you. Even the sense of time can loosen its grip now. Minutes can blur, edges can blur. You do not have to keep track. If the mind reaches for something, it can find only this softness and slide back down, like lying at the very bottom of the night where everything is already done. Your thoughts are quieter, your body is heavier, the room is gentler around you. You are allowed to drift away from the words, to hear less and less, to care less and less about what is said next, because there is nowhere else to go, nothing else to hear. Only this slow, warm dimness settling over everything, breath moving on its own, heart moving on its own, the night holding all of it without effort. If sleep comes, it can come. If it does not, this stillness is enough. You can float here, between waking and sleep, between thinking and nothing at all, held by the dark around you, held by the quiet inside you. Words are almost gone now, only a murmur at the edge of your awareness, soft as a thought that never quite forms. You can follow them if you wish, or you can let them fade into the same hush that waits behind your breathing. Soon there will be only the room, only the night, only you, resting, no more to do, no more to listen for, just this last gentle breath in, and this long, easy breath out, and then whatever comes next can arrive in its own time, without needing you to meet it right now.